Hey guys, David here, and it is Saturday, and I wanted to make this video as that update. So we had that solo ad go out. Here is my click magic for that solo ad, 500 clicks that went out. You can see it's 466 unique clicks, 462 secondary clicks, and then we have 29 filtered clicks. And with click magic, what you can do, and what I suggest that you guys do, is as clicks are coming in, you can filter out countries that are known to be bad stuff, right? So countries who usually would opt into a list, but may not have the purchasing power, like a lot of the Indian, or I guess India, a lot of the Indian culture is big into opportunities and stuff like that. But most of the country doesn't make the money to actually purchase products, right, or services in my category, in my price range, right? So the price range is the biggest point to that whole thing. Yes, they want to do business opportunities. More than likely, they are not going to have the enough money. Same thing for most of the countries in Africa, outside of like South Africa, right? So what I do personally is I automatically don't want those people on my list. Reason being is when you populate a list or when you're building a list, what you want to do is build your list with the most likely people to buy your stuff, not just numbers, just the most likely people who are going to buy your stuff, not just a bunch of numbers. People, sometimes get caught up in building a big list, like I want to, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100,000 list, but 70 or 80% of the lists are just clickers, right? So I'm not in the solo ad business. I don't sell solo ads. So having a bunch of people on my list who aren't buying my stuff is really meaningless, right? It costs you not only time, it costs you money, because with Aweber, the more people you have, you actually have to pay more, which isn't a bad thing. Most autoresponders are like that. It just is what it is. So having a big list is not a big deal. Actually, on the first of every single year, what I do is I scrub my whole list, right? So the first is coming up, so January 1, I scrub my list. And if you haven't opened an email, I get you off of my list, because having a big list to me doesn't mean anything if you're not opening my emails, not reading my stuff, and not buying from me, right? So we had that solo ad go out. Tier 1 had 458 clicks, or 99%. I get a lot of people who want to do the solo ads, and they're like, well, is it worth paying for the extra T1? And what I mean by T1 is that's the good countries, right? T1 traffic is, in the solo ad industry, that is the traffic that you want. It's America, it's Canada, the UK. Some people include Singapore, Malaysia in that T1. I personally do, because those countries have a lot of disposable income and a lot of money in general. There's the UK, there's Australia, there's New Zealand, there's Ireland. Some people include South Africa. That's all included in that tier 1. So those are the good countries. Tier 2 countries have a little bit less money. Tier 3 countries are probably not going to have anything. So we can see that 3% or 3 clicks came from there, and then 2 clicks came from there. So they're most likely in the filtered. If I get a lot of people who are clicking on the link or just clicking on the link, those things get filtered. If they're from countries that aren't supposed to be seeing my ads, those get filtered. If you are or if I get a signal maybe that a same IP address is trying to log in multiple times, then those get filtered. So having something like Click Magic is really magic for your business, right? And I'm not selling Click Magic. There's no link to Click Magic. I'm just telling you what it does, or what programs like this or software like this does. When you want to get into the actual arena of making money online, you got to start looking at tools that are actually going to benefit you and going to make what it is that you do better, easier, faster, more reliable, whatever it is, right? Whatever your criteria for better is. Click Magic is one of those things where I was doing solo ads in the beginning and I wasn't using it, and I had done tens of thousands of clicks without it. And what I noticed was that my list got so much better once I started using it. I started seeing the countries that were actually on my list due to solo ads, not postcards or magazines, because most of that's going to be the US. I started seeing that the countries who were bad countries, or countries that weren't going to buy my stuff, that came way down because I was filtering them. So in general, I started making more money with less names. I have less names on my list. now than I have had in previous times, but my list is a lot different because I'm using buyer leads or buyers from, mostly postcards, and those are buyers, right? So the people who I'm mailing to are buyers. They're the only people I'm mailing to are buyers. They're from the United States and they have the most money, right? That's why I use postcards. Solo ads is a different thing, right? Solo ads is speed, right? The actual thing came through yesterday, and yesterday I did 118 leads from this solo ad. You know, I did 118. So the speed in which execution is, like, if I send a postcard out, it takes a couple days to get to people on the East Coast, takes a little bit longer to get to the West Coast, right? And then you got the actual people who are going to set it down and not look at it. You got the people who are going to do this, the people who are going to do that. And that's part of it, right? And that's why that strategy is a medium-term traffic strategy, right? It's not a long-term strategy like a magazine or a newspaper. It's not a short-term strategy like pay-per-click or like solo ads, right? Solo ads is short-term. I can blast this out, or the speed in which you can get this, or the speed in which you can execute on a solo ad is just mind-boggling, right? If I put enough money in tonight, I could have my email with my link in 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 500,000 people's email. That's powerful, right? And that's instantaneous almost, right? When they start sending it out, I'll start getting leads. So that's where I use solo ads, right? I use it for times like now when it's a little bit shaky, kind of sending some stuff through the mail because people are traveling, right? You have a lot of traveling. I don't want to move to newspapers or magazines because I didn't have the time, right? Magazines and newspapers, magazines for sure, take at least 3 weeks, right? Because they have to come out every single month or whatever. Newspapers you can get out within a couple of days if you get it before the deadline, so that you could have went there, or I could have went there. I chose to do solo ads just because I went into this guy's traffic and it's amazing. It's 99% tier 1. Can you beat that, really? Very, very rarely. I've paid more money for tier 1 traffic and got less than this. So this is a guy who I've been using for a while off and on. I wasn't using him for a little while, and because I talked about it before, solo ads were doing great, and then it kind of came off a little bit as far as the results. I was still getting a few sales here and there, but it wasn't the amount of sales worth me spending more money in solo ads versus sending more postcards, right? So tested out the traffic a little while ago, and it was better. And now I know this is the question that everyone's going to do. How many sales did you get? Did you get enough sales? Did you make your money back? And that's what people are, and that's short-term thinking, right? When I send a solo ad, or when I do a campaign in general, outside of magazines and newspapers, I wait 90 days. Typically, it's 90 days for me to get a result and me to think, hey, this was good, or hey, this was bad. I know what you're thinking. Well, how do you do it every single month? Well, you do it every single month until that month hits the 90 days. So I'm going to run traffic with him for the foreseeable future. If this traffic 3 months from now, I go back and I look and this traffic didn't perform, then I cut the ad, right? But I had to have run it for a period of time, willing to, I guess, risk the result, right? Because it's worth it. If it works out amazingly, what's the upside, right? Tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. And yes, I mean that off of a 500-click solo because I'm in a high-ticket business, right? If like I just said, I got 118 leads. With 118 leads, what happens if 1% or 2% got my MLR, right? The mobile licensing rights, which is a $1,250 commission to me. What happens if they got titanium, right? Which is those $3,500 commissions towards me. What happens if they got platinum, which is $5,500 commission to me? What happens if they get diamond, which is over $9,000 commission? So the amount of money that you can make per client, just one, is tremendous. So that's what I focus on being in a high ticket business. I don't worry about, did I get enough sales, because I'm not selling a $25 product, right? So if you're selling a $25 product, you need to get all the sales you can because you're only selling $25 worth, right? But if you're not selling a $25 product, if you're selling a $1,000 product, $2,000, $3,000, you need a lot less customers to break even. You need a lot less customers to get into profitability. And that's what's important. So I will let you guys know that I've made $90 on this ad, right? I've made 90 bucks. And I know what some of you guys are thinking, that short-term mentality, oh, you spent the money and you didn't do anything. I got the leads, right? And, I got the leads. And the leads, it's on to me to convert those leads into sales. It's not the traffic's fault they didn't buy. It's not the video sales letter's fault they didn't buy per se, right? It could be, but I know that the videos that I'm showing that are, converting at a certain amount, and that's normal. So I'm not flipping out that I didn't make my money back tomorrow. I've got 90 days on this, right? What we know for sure today, I got a bunch of leads, right? Got a bunch of leads. The leads yesterday to today didn't all unsubscribe, right? They weren't bots, they weren't bad because they would have got filtered. So we got T1 traffic to my page, right? We got the leads, and now it's on to me to turn those leads into sales. And how much time do I have? Forever. Because until these people get off my list, I'm going to email them every single day, right? So you guys who are out there like, oh, I didn't make the money back on the ad right away. That happens. And more often than not, I don't make my money back on my ads. I know that's crazy, I don't. But a lot of the ads that do pay off heavily. They pay off so much so that they cancel out the ads that were bad. And then I have the leads, right? The leads at any point in time can convert into sales. That's what this business is about. And if on average a lead is worth $1 to $3, why wouldn't you put as many people who are able to purchase what it is that you're selling onto your list? You should. And that's where solo ads come in. The speed of execution in which you can get 2,000, 3,000 people onto your list and be off and running. Even if you won't make a whole lot of money in the beginning, you're off and running with the right idea, with the right skill set, with the right thing. You're adding people to a list, you're following up with those people and trying to convert those people into sales. That's the business, right? A lot of people complicate that. That's the business. You show people a sales presentation, you let them make a decision, yes or no, doesn't matter. You email them and you follow up with them, you get them to connect with you in different ways, and eventually, if you do your job right, they'll buy from you. Seems simple enough, right? It's not that complicated. So I've got a actual potluck to go to tonight, so I'm gonna finish this off, but we got 118 leads yesterday. Most of them, 99.9% of them coming from this this solo ad that we did, right? 99% tier 1 traffic. Wouldn't you guys like to get this? Isn't this what everyone is after, right? They want the tier 1 traffic. They want the good, leads and everything. And this is how you build a business, guys. This is how I've built my business to the level that it's at now. It's by using the traffic in the way that it's supposed to be used. Using the media in the way that it's supposed to be used. Just because I got 118 leads doesn't mean you're going to get 118 sales. It doesn't work like that. And just because you didn't get a whole bunch of sales the first day doesn't mean a week from now some of these people won't buy. 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now. If your game is long term and you're thinking about this in not days, weeks, months, but you're thinking about it in decades, right? I'm going to be doing this for the foreseeable future. 20, 30 years from now, I'll be doing this or a variation of this. So if this person or these people who came from this are still around and still on my list, they're still going to be getting emails from me and I still have a chance to make my money back. Long term, guys. So I hope this video helped you guys out, and I hope you guys use solo ads appropriately. So we will talk soon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Click the link below if you'd actually like to get started in business with me, and we'll talk soon.